Perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, episode 14
It's gonna be 14. I think it's gonna be 14.
of season 2, anyways.
Season
yeah.
2, yeah.
So yeah, finally feeling a little bit better. It's probably sound a little bit better. I
You're
think.
not gonna hack and cough all night.
I might a little.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know what time of day it is right now. It's just early.
It's what, like 2 for you, 3 for me.
Yeah.
What is it, like 8 o'clock for you, Nick?
It is 8 o'clock. Yeah.
8
here.
o'clock.
Yeah.
This is interesting. So
This is officially like our first international podcast. So I mean,
It is.
We're officially international now.
Amazing.
So yeah, I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, just kind of want to touch on Jonathan and the CobraCon interview we had last week.
Absolutely. That was a great time, man.
Amazing. Yeah,
Always
it
cool
was
to
a
hang out
lot
with
of,
Jonathan.
it was. I mean, again, if you haven't gone and signed up for CobraCon or gotten your tickets, you need to get them.
Yeah,
You need to
absolutely.
get them
yeah.
soon. I know you've got yours already.
I booked my hotel room to that first night, so I made sure
Did
I was going to get in on that.
Did you wait up until midnight, or did you?
I was there. I mean, we were up chatting afterwards. You know,
Yeah, we were
things-
chatting. It was like what, 2 in the morning, and we were
Yeah.
texting.
trying to make sure everything was out there. So
Yeah. You text me, it was like what, 7 after midnight, and you're like, "Oh, I see you're blasting it out on Facebook."
50 shares later.
Yeah. So perfect. And then Sooner just happened this last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the Christmas musical? That
I have not watched any of the videos
Haven't you?
of Sooner. I have not yet.
Yeah.
Now I've heard
So-
a lot of good stuff though about Sean's show though. So
yeah, it was really, really good. So that happened, and then Chris and Beth, they did their show, and
yeah,
that
I've
was
seen
really
that as well.
good.
Yeah,
So those are the only 2 that I've seen so far. I'm hoping to see more coming out soon.
Yeah,
But-
sound like everything went well. So I think they lucked down on the weather. So I know they
Yeah.
had some tornadoes and stuff that was like right after all that. So it was.
Yeah.
I know all the K-Cat family got back home safe, but
Good,
yeah,
good.
there's they had a lot of storms down there.
Good. And then did you see Sky Wars just opened up? Well,
I've seen that. They had some tickets
what,
that are actually
2
500
days ago
tickets?
now.
500
500 GA tickets, and then less than 70 VIPs. So
yeah, I expect those to be gone pretty quick. All that
I
will
do
be gone
too,
pretty
and
quick, yeah.
and I have this sneaking suspicion there'll be some more released, but I mean, I don't know, it could be wrong.
From our conversations with Rob, I think they will potentially release some more, but I think that's going to depend on how the field comes together for next year, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they can't release tickets until they know they got the field set up for the larger
Properly
audience.
done.
So
Yeah.
there might be some last minute stuff that comes available.
Yeah. So perfect. All right. Well, let's get this kicked off, and we'll start chatting with Nick and see how.
Everybody's probably wondering who Nick is,
Yeah,
so we're going to find out.
Nick is. All right. Let's hit this intro, and then we'll go from there.
All right, let's do it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Tune in weekly as Donnie and David discuss all things pyro, from the business aspect of the industry to technical tips and mesmerizing pyro designs. On Pyro Unleashed, we invite cutting-edge experts to the podcast to discuss their role in making this industry a success. So, sit back and unleash your inner pyro with us.
All right,
There we go. All right.
Again, episode 14, season 2.
Yeah,
Continue our sponsorship with Cobra.
we do.
Like we mentioned, CobraCon tickets are officially on sale for
Yeah.
April 10th through 12th. Those announced that you and I are both doing some classes there at CobraCon.
We are doing classes, and then we're doing the closing show together.
So
Yeah, looking forward to that.
RKM Pyro
Yeah.
Unleashed closing show.
Yeah, this could be a lot of fun.
Gonna be a good time. Yeah, I know there's
Probably
some.
have.
We had a lot of chatter about the show theme and stuff like that going back and forth, and I think it's gonna be fun. Next will be fun.
I'm really looking forward to it. Our audio guy is working on it right now. He's producing it. Actually, I just texted him, and I think he'll have it done here in, I don't know, a couple days, so we can start throwing some cues to a script.
Somebody asked in our Discord who was in charge of the audio at the shoot site, and I told him you weren't allowed anywhere near it.
Yeah,
so.
it's not me.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not me, so I'm not touching the audio. Well, that being said, you did say we wouldn't have an audio box, and I'm not sure how truthful that might be. We might have to have audio running SMPTE time feed, but we'll see how that turns out.
Another location.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. But
Let's introduce Nick.
yeah, Nick Archer from the UK. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
really happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, yeah, anytime. Yeah. So I met you at PyroJam. So yeah, I guess let's kind of kick it off. Who are you? What do you do for a living? Because I don't know if I don't think Pyro's your full-time gig. So talk a little bit about that, and then we'll go on to some other questions, brother.
So yeah, my name's Nick. I work in TV full time actually for a company called Sky, which is like a sort of big TV company here in the UK.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's and I mainly sort of make TV ads for them. So making trailers and promos for movies and TV shows and all that sort of stuff. So background is really sort of video editing.
That's okay. That's awesome.
And then always had an interest in pyro, sort of since a young age. Since I guess sort of my dad brought home sort of those little selection boxes, and things like that. So and sort of didn't really do anything with the pyro side of things for years and years. And it was only in 2020, I think, when I actually started working sort of part time as a pyrotechnician on shows. And yeah, that sort of like has led on to me sort of starting to sort of dabble in a bit of design stuff. Which is really, really exciting.
Okay. So are you familiar with like Finale 3D before like PyroJam then?
I had never touched Finale 3D until
Really?
until I came across PyroJam. Yeah, I think I can't remember exactly when I first heard about PyroJam. It was sometime a little bit sort of a little bit of time before that the competition opened for this year's competition. I sort of had to sort of do a lot of learning on the job, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of, do something and then undo, do something and then undo, and go back. I think my video editing background really, really helped with that familiarization. And even the way Finale 3D is set up is very similar to video editing software.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot, even in terms of cutting down tracks, putting tracks together, things like that. It was, that was all very familiar for me. So it was all just about the little details of Finale 3D to learn. Things like that. Yeah.
The little nuances in the system. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Donnie and I primarily, that's the system. I mean, even before it was Finale 3D, there was just the Finale, just generic like 2D version. And that's really where I started myself. So yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah. It's a learning curve. It's a lot to take in. So
before all this, did you do any type of scripting before and like your firework stuff, or was it just all just like hand fired, manual fire type of stuff? Or
it was the only firework experience I had before PyroJam, and really up until now, outside of PyroJam, is sort of freelancing as a pyrotechnician.
That's awesome.
Which mostly is made up of our sort of November the 5th shows, our sort of bonfire shows. That's our sort of big season. So it's actually today, November 5th is about when we're recording this.
I was gonna ask. Yeah, so that's one of our questions. Donnie was looking up some news. I didn't even realize that today was I totally didn't even think about it. Like I knew about Bonfire Day, and I just never even thought about it. So
today's the day. Most shows happen on the weekends either side. It's not really typically happens sort of during the week. So we did a big show. I was a pyrotechnician on a big show in London here over the weekend. We had sort of about 100,000 people over 2 days, which was amazing. And then I've got another one on Saturday as well. And so between sort of November shows and then also London New Year's Eve shows as well, we do sort of pyrotechnician on those. That's my sort of, I guess, background experience with fireworks. The whole designing thing was, PyroJam was the first. So it was a learning curve.
Yeah, I mean, so how do you think it turned out? I mean, in general, I mean, obviously, watching the show, maybe there was some cues like twisted or something that were plugged or whatever, but overall experience, like, how do you, like, from design to execution, from what you had in your mind to what it was actually displayed, like, what are your thoughts on how you thought everything went?
I guess before I watched it, you guys at the event, I kind of didn't know what to expect, right? I'd never seen something that I designed fired in real life.
Okay,
So
I guess I had a bit of an idea of how it would go, right? I've seen enough firework displays in real life to know kind of what to expect. But in terms of like the choreography and the design, it was all like, I was much in the dark as everyone else was in that field. But yeah, it was incredible to see in real life.
Yeah.
It was, my girlfriend and I came over, and it was so good. Some bits, like probably exceeded expectations in terms of design. Some bits
Yeah.
probably didn't. It was a bit of a mixed bag. But overall, definitely overall, I loved it. It was so good to see.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's something that's intrigued me on like Finale 3D. Like you get to see it and you watch it over and over and over again, and like you burn your mind out on watching the song or listening to that song over, I mean, 100,000 times really. And then you get to see it in real life, and like, yes, there are aspects where you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. And then there's other aspects just like, well, that's not really what I wanted, but I mean, I guess it worked out. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very interesting to see, like, yeah, again, like I said, from design to execution, like
Yeah.
how it actually all plays out.
I guess
So
I guess I didn't have sort of a sense of scale, so I knew for the finale were 25-inch shells and 26-inch shells going to be enough as like a last
yeah,
hit.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I wasn't. It was all a bit of a stab in the dark, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And so it's now great to have that experience under my belt. Of okay, I've got a reference point now. I
Yeah.
can see what I put into design and what ended up in the sky.
yeah,
So here on in, yeah, I think it will be a little bit easier to gauge what I'm doing.
yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
As somebody like as your first time, like what was that process to go through to picking out your theme and the idea, and how you even began that whole process, from the beginning,
I think, I mean, it starts with the music. Making these TV ads and trailers, I work with music every single day, and sort of cutting music down as well. So I had my Spotify is already full of playlists of tracks to use and ads and commercials and things like that. So I knew I wanted to use like epic covers. I love those. They're really well
Yeah.
suited to pyro musicals, with the hits and sort of how dramatic they are. So I knew I sort of really quickly sort of honed in on that as my sort of starting point.
Yeah.
Then I think I had a selection of 4 or 5 tracks together and sort of found a little bit of a narrative through there of sort of moving on, this idea of sort of moving away from sort of the town you grew up in, to the big city, which is something I can relate to. I grew up in a little town down in the southeast of England, and then moved up to London when I was 27, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that came very naturally, the theme, I think, and the music cut came pretty quickly as well. Sort of just created that one long WAV file and stuck that in Finale 3D, and then thought, what happens now? But yeah, just as I said, a lot of trial and error in, I guess getting the balance right of big impactful moments, quieter moments, and then just trying to make the whole show feel like dynamic and alive and something that would hopefully sort of maintain interest of an audience.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. So yeah, I mean, I guess I think you kind of touched on it, but so yeah, I mean, what really inspired you to enter into PyroJam? Like, I know you mentioned you just really found out about it really kind of shortly there before it opened up, right?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly when. It was on my radar for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And then it was really that sort of, I wanted to find out if those video editing skills really could translate into designing pyro musicals. I had that
Yeah.
knowledge of fireworks, obviously knew different effects and different types and all that stuff. And so I just really wanted to combine that with my sort of video editing skills, sort of sequencing music, all that stuff, and just see what happened. But yeah, as I said, there was a lot of trial and error. I think I probably designed sort of tracks worth of of script, and then sort of just hit delete. Watched it through, and then just delete. It just
It
didn't
happens
feel right.
all the time.
Yeah, and I'm sure it does for even you guys who've designed loads and loads of pyro musicals. It was a really really fun experience designing the show. I loved it.
Yeah.
A lot of obviously working sort of after work at night getting it done, but it was really really good. I loved it.
From start to finish, roughly how much time do you think you put into designing that?
I was getting ready to ask that. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I started editing the tracks, I guess, as soon as the competition was announced. And I only submitted it maybe 2 days before the deadline, something like that. And so I wouldn't say every day, but most days I'd spend at least a couple of hours, I guess. I can't remember what that totals up, but it was a lot of time. I don't know how much of that was trial and error and sort of just, getting my head around the software and things like that. Finale 3D is an intuitive piece of software. I found it's not a hard thing to grasp, and I was really impressed of how quickly I was able to pick it up and design a whole pyro musical without having touched the software before. And it's incredible.
Yeah. So like going forward, do you foresee yourself like continuing to do pyro musicals, and if that's the case, like, do you guys have a different software in the UK that you might look into, or do you think you would stick with Finale 3D?
Yeah, I'd love to keep on going. I've designed one small show since here in the UK for the Firework Festival, which is really, really fun.
That's awesome.
Much more real world in terms of like a smaller budget. PyroJam. And that was the other thing about PyroJam. I mean, is an insane budget. What we're used to over here in terms of that length of show. But yeah, Finale 3D is the software we use over here.
Okay.
So yeah. It's going to be a great opportunity to keep on using those skills and take that forward.
That's awesome. Yeah.
No,
honestly, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask if you get the opportunity to go and see a lot of pyro musicals in the UK and Europe, it's like that. What are some of the events or places you've been to get able to see some good pyro musicals?
Yeah, there are quite a few festivals here. There's the UK Firework Championships, which I think take place across the UK. They tour around to sort of different like big houses, sort of stately homes, which different companies compete at. And there's plenty more. There's sort of different firework festivals. Yeah, I need to actually go and see more. I think. I mean, yeah, the problem is sort of working obviously like as a pyro technician in November.
Yeah.
It's like, you're seeing that one show and sort of that's it. You don't get a chance to go and see others. But yeah, I need to go and see some more because I love it. I love seeing sort of new ideas and different people's interpretations of how to use different types of product, and then also like the track as well. How people, you can have two people use the same track but then use it completely differently, and that really interests me. Definitely.
Yeah, that's kind of been a topic quite a bit here. It is intriguing to see how maybe 2 or 3 different people can take the same audio track and completely script it differently. I mean, when you hear like a high pitched note, like some people might use howls, or some people, I mean, just a number of different things to make that sound maybe come to life or something. So it is very intriguing to see, exactly how people interpret music. Yeah.
I did try to use tracks that I hadn't, if this is for PyroJam, I hadn't heard before used on pyro musicals. I don't know if I was successful. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they had been used.
I will say most. I'd have to watch back again, but I don't think I heard any that had been used to my knowledge. So yeah. And I will say, if it hasn't been said yet, I thought it was a great show. Yeah. So
Thank you.
Really happy to have been able to make it out there. I was really trying to get Donnie to come out, but he has other things going on, so
it was busy, just busy. We just got back from
like
PGI.
You're an additional what, like 6+ hours away, right?
Yeah.
For me?
Wow. Yeah.
So it took me 12 hours driving, so it'd have been almost 18 for you.
Yeah,
so.
it would have been a long drive. Yeah. I would have flown. If I was like, I would have flown out there probably. I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
I must say that it was one of the highlights for my girlfriend and I going out was just meeting everybody at the event.
Yeah.
We had we knew we were going to sort of meet a few people and all that stuff, but how friendly everybody was blew us away. It was incredible. And how many people we ended up speaking to and just came up to us and just wanted to talk was incredible. That really made it for us, I think. Definitely.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, as a pyro community here in the U.S., I would say it's very close knit. We're very small, but once you're in, I mean, you're like a brother to all of us. And I will say, like, I was glad to be able to come up to you. I was sitting over next to the cameras because Ellery or Tong Po was doing recording next to me, and I was like, I think that's Nick. So I ran over and was talking to you, and I'm really glad we got to connect. And I mean, here we are on the podcast, and I really, really appreciate it.
It's amazing. Yeah.
So was that your first time in the U.S.?
So no, I've been to the US
Okay.
a couple of times before. We did when I was younger, we did a Orlando Disney holiday,
Mm,
and then I think when I was 18, I think we did sort of a bit of a California road trip as a family as well.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
but yeah, sort of first time in sort of Maryland, and then sort of we stayed in DC, which was really cool, and then went up to
Yeah,
New York. Went up to New York afterwards, which was really cool. I've never been to New
Nice.
York, so that was really
Good.
good.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
loved
yeah,
it, loved it.
yeah. I'm glad you got to come and at least make a trip out of it. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
really awesome.
100%. Yeah, and just yeah, I'd say meet other people and just sort of hear other people's experiences with fireworks as well. And sort of how you guys do things differently.
Yeah,
Seeing the fireballs for one for the in the was it the national anthem or the intro show?
yeah.
Like, I've never seen anything like
You
that.
haven't really.
They're insane.
Would they allow something like that in the UK?
I think so. I mean, our petrol or gas prices probably wouldn't allow for something like that. That'd probably be the budget of the show. But yeah, stuff like that was really cool to see. And the scale, I touched on it a bit earlier with the budgets, but
Yeah,
3 shows that were $25,000 each,
yeah,
plus an intro show, a national anthem, and then the outro show.
yeah,
I think it was something like 18 or 19,000 cues in
yeah.
total.
I think 19,000. Yeah, just over
Yeah.
19,000 queues on. Yeah,
Incredible, insane.
yeah.
Yeah,
Tim's
yeah.
crazy.
He is. He is. But I am so thankful to him for running this
Yeah,
competition because, without this competition, I definitely still wouldn't have designed a show.
really. Yeah,
No, 100%. It's allowed me to sort of really sort of get my foot in the door.
yeah,
Opening up to everybody in the world, not
hmm
just companies, is incredible. I don't think, definitely on this scale, there's not many other competitions in the world that allow anyone to enter. It's usually, big companies that have done, hundreds and hundreds of pyros
Yeah.
musicals around the world already.
yeah,
So having that opportunity is incredible.
yeah. No,
And
that's one thing I really do appreciate about PyroJam is,
yeah.
Tim's not just like, because he knows how he got, he knows how we all got started. I mean, you start small and then eventually you start making your way up. And for Tim to be able to internationally give that opportunity is, yeah. If you're listening, Tim, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
So,
Because so many of these competitions you do, like you said, Nick, you do have to have some experience, right? Like you have a lot of shows. Like I mean, even like the Sky Wars that we all do too here in the Midwest. Like
yeah,
they look at all of your previous shows and your footage before they pick contestants, and it really is a testament to what PyroJam has done. Where you just have to submit a finale 3D rendering. That's all you got to do. Like that's it, and you can enter into it, and your show gets shot. I mean, it's that open to everybody, and it's a great offer.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird to say, but it's almost like the voice of the pyro world.
Yeah,
Like,
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why I just thought of that, but yeah, I was like,
just love the idea of just anybody like in their bedroom in whatever country, how remote it is, just having the opportunity to design and then just being given that stage at PyroJam to sort of showcase what they can do.
yeah,
With that budget is insane. Yeah.
yeah. So what is a typical budget for you guys there then?
Oh, it varies a lot. It varies a lot.
Okay.
But for a 9-minute show, we're not spending $25,000 per show. I guess that was probably one of the challenges actually of PyroJam was sort of, okay, you're right, you've got this big budget, you don't, it's breaking that down. And I know some people's techniques I've heard sort of since PyroJam is, you cost it out per minute. So you give yourself a budget per minute for show.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't do that. I think I probably actually went over the budget by $5,000 to begin with.
Oh wow.
And then had to go back through,
Scaled back, yeah.
and then start picking stuff out to hit the budget. But yeah, I guess that comes with sort of being the first one and just wanting to have everything in there all at once. So it was probably a good thing that I had to go back and pick stuff out. Otherwise, it'd have been a bit too much, maybe.
I do it too. Like that's normally how I design too. Yeah. I'll design crazy and then I'll peel it back and normalize it back out to my budget. So
yeah.
Or if you're Donnie, you just you don't have a budget.
So everybody, you spend everybody else's money.
When you spend, it's what you spend.
Ask
You
for
just figure out how you're going to
later.
pay for it after you screwed it. Like we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So
kind of bridging off of this thing. Like what's next for you in this? Like what's the next step in your journey?
I'm not entirely sure yet, to be honest. I just want to keep designing.
Good.
Whether that designing shows that will never see the light of day, I'm more than happy doing that. You know, just for some practice. Just any other sort of competition opportunities that come by. You know, it's yeah, they're sort of few and far between, I guess. But I'd love to keep going. I've got some really sort of I think some good ideas that I'd love to sort of try out. Especially sort of coming from my background of video editing and music and using voiceovers and sound effects and things like that. I think there's some interesting things that can be done that maybe haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sort of really excited to maybe keep exploring that and see what happens. And then also just keep on being a pyrotechnician as well. I love it. It gets video editing every day is pretty grueling, sitting at a desk, looking at a screen. So just getting out in the field and rigging these sort of big fireworks shows is really good. It's a really good break from that.
Perfect.
We do have lots of competitions in the United States. I mean, I'm sure we can find you some more shows to do.
Oh,
I think
perfect. I'm opening finale 3D as we speak.
I know Sky Wars is not going to have any entries next year, but the year after,
we can find some opportunities.
I've seen some amazing videos. I think that's probably provided a bit of inspiration for me to start designing. Is seeing videos from Sky Wars.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, 100%. And seeing what you guys do over there is incredible.
It's funny because. Yeah, I mean, I personally I like to watch the shows in the States, but some of the single shot runs can become redundant here in the States, and I'll watch other countries and watch their runs to kind of mix my stuff up and spice it up a little bit. So it's interesting to hear that it's not just something we do. It's it's other it's like you or other people watching what we're doing to
yeah. And I love. Other stuff that's going on in Europe as well. Italy and Spain and what they do with single shot runs is incredible. And some of their sequences are amazing, and their effects, especially are
just amazing. Yeah.
So yeah, I just keep on watching, keep on designing, and hopefully, sort of something comes of it. That'd be really, really cool.
Yeah. So what are the rules like for fireworks in the UK for you guys?
So anyone can buy fireworks all year round, as long as you're over 18.
Okay.
This is retail fireworks.
Yeah.
So there's no limits on sort of when you can buy them, but yeah, you have to be over 18. Typically, they're only used really for Bonfire Night in early November, and then sort of New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And then for professional fireworks, you need the correct sort of licensing and storage facilities to be able to purchase category 4 fireworks. I don't know. I guess you guys don't use categories. Was it 1.4?
Yeah, we use 4. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, we have the 1.4, and then we have the 1.4 Pro, which would be like all the single shot meteors and mines and stuff. And then we do have bigger compound cakes. So our consumer is limited by 500 grams. Per cake, and then Pro line is 1,000 grams per cake, and then anything above that is all 1.3 display fireworks for here.
So I don't think might be wrong, I probably am wrong, but I'm not aware of a sort of NEC limit on retail cakes or anything like that.
Really?
We can buy
awesome.
You can buy compound cakes here in the UK sort of off the shelf, but you can't buy shells or anything like that.
No shells.
No shells. It's just rockets, cakes, candles, things like that.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely no shells. And then so shells would fall under our category 4 professional fireworks.
Do you have preloaded mortars?
No.
At all?
No.
So it's all cake based.
Yeah, the closest you'd get to a preloaded mortar would be just a shot tube, just a 30mm shot tube. That's it. So yeah, we can still buy some really good quality product here.
Right.
We've got some really, really, really good brands here, but I guess, I don't know. I don't know if I trust the public here to have anything more powerful than we're already allowed, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's great. It's great to work with the professional fireworks as well. The shells and stuff when we can on the pro displays. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So do you have any unique brands there that we wouldn't have in the United States?
I don't know. I guess they all probably come from the same factories, right?
Probably so. Probably
I
so.
mean, yeah. Even if they're different brands, I'm sure it's mostly the same stuff. In fact, even when I was looking through the catalog of effects to use in PyroJam, I was recognizing stuff that looked very, 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 very similar.
That's funny, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the effect catalog in PyroJam was another thing. It's huge. I can't remember how many effects in total were there, but having that as your playground to choose from was insane.
Crazy. Yeah, the amount
I
of
will
stuff they
say,
have.
even it's kind of cool. Like when we get fireworks, sometimes you cut the wrapper off, and you're like, "Oh, this is just a rewrap of X brand," or even this. Oh, this was supposed to go to said company in another country or something. So it's really cool to see. Like, we're not the only ones with this. It's somebody else has it. It's just different packaging.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I know you've mentioned a little bit about Bonfire Night. So let's talk a little what is Bonfire Night? Like what happens for Bonfire Night? Like what is this event?
So it was. You're going to test my history now. So I believe in the 1600s, so a fair while ago, it was a guy called Guy Fawkes who attempted to blow up the Houses of Parliament and the King. With a fairly large number of barrels of gunpowder hidden in the basement, which would have wiped out probably sort of most of central London at the time. But that plot was foiled. It didn't happen. He got found out just before, I think, the fuse had already been lit, I think, if that's not a myth. So this celebration is basically celebrating the fact that didn't happen.
Okay.
So
we use explosives to celebrate something not exploding.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense.
So it's typically we'll have obviously a firework the show, and then a bonfire as well, where you don't see it so much anymore, but a figure that's meant to be Guy Fawkes will be placed on top of the bonfire and then burnt to say good riddance. You didn't blow up the Houses of Parliament.
Interesting. Yeah, I like that.
But there's still plenty of shows that happen over here to celebrate it. It's a really, really good time of year, and it can get pretty busy. One called Battersea Park that I was at on Saturday, which was really, really good, sort of right in the middle of central London. And we have 50,000 people a night, and it's a really good celebration.
That's
really,
awesome.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And so for the most part, I mean, people just shoot fireworks off or at their houses or kind of wherever during this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think wherever people can do it, they'll do it. Yeah, there's loads of shops selling fireworks. I don't know. Do you guys have fireworks in like supermarkets or sort of grocery stores?
They usually limit it to like sparklers, poppers, fountains, some aerial, but not a lot.
So you in our like local supermarket or like grocery store, there'll be like a big rack of fireworks for sale.
Not usually.
Not usually. We actually have designated either stores or tents, or if you go to like the southern part of the state or the country, they actually have like shipping containers that they've converted into stores in like Texas and stuff. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome. Well, Donnie, should we hit Pyro News and get some news going? All right, let's hit this news and we'll keep her going.
We have Pyro News brought to you by Dominator again. Dominator
we do.
Fireworks. Yeah. Sure, they have Dominator Fireworks in UK, probably, don't you guys?
No, we don't.
No. Okay.
The first time I heard about it was through PyroJam.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
all right. Well, Ed, if you're listening, Matt,
need some fireworks. Need some.
I'll test for you guys. Don't worry.
New territory.
Yeah. So one of our Pyro News here this week. We got the obviously the Dodgers won the World Series. I know this has been circulating around. This was circulating around all through KCAP, but this guy was lighting off fireworks and with his hand out and blew off one of his hands and of his fingers and kind of a
video
crazy
went
celebration.
Viral, which is crazy.
Oh man, it was nuts, man. It was all over the place. I mean, there's a lot of unedited videos out there you can actually watch.
I was really surprised.
It's kind of gruesome. Yeah, it's like. Yeah, so again, guys, don't light fireworks in your hand. Place them down. You know, I mean, like safety people. I'm sure alcohol is involved. I mean,
no way. He was a kid.
He was a kid. Speaking of this, there's another one here. So also around that time where it's been Diwali, So
Yeah,
Diwali,
Diwali, yep.
huge in India, fireworks like crazy. You know, I mean, I work with a lot of people in the IT industry that celebrate Diwali and fireworks and stuff. They're always asking me, where can we get fireworks shipped, you know, and all this kind of
Yep.
stuff, you know. But there was a celebration in India for Diwali. A man was reportedly dared by his friends to set on a box of fireworks and light the fireworks.
Yeah.
And he ultimately died a couple days later from his injuries. So. Again, it states alcohol was a contributing factor, but all six of his friends have been arrested as contributors to homicide.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So for daring him to set on a box of fireworks.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
that's
sad.
oh, it's crazy. It's crazy what people do. And then another one we have here. This is California, where fireworks are illegal and not supposed to be there, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Somehow deputies seized 6,000 pounds of illegal fireworks in Northern California.
Yeah, I wonder how they got there.
Yeah, well, yeah. So by look at the picture, I can tell you by looks of the picture, this is all 1-4 consumer product, by the way.
Is it?
It's
Okay.
Yeah, it's dangerous illegal fireworks. But yeah, it was tipped off by a guy that had illegal fireworks at his public storage facility in El Dorado Hills, California. A bomb squad showed up with search warrant, seized 4,000 pounds of fireworks. And
Is
then
that powder weight or?
I don't know. This
Does
is
it say?
4,000. I'm sure it's probably just total weight.
I'm
probably.
sure
I
they
wouldn't
just
imagine.
weight it. They
Like
don't understand powder
pallets of
weight.
it, Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they found another 1,600 pounds, I think, in his home as well. So, again, so they were
5,600 pounds.
illegal in California. So,
Wow. So the
Yeah,
stuff we can
zero
just have Joe
tolerance,
blow.
zero
Yeah.
tolerance, yeah.
Wow. Zero tolerance.
yeah. So, yeah, lots of, I mean, like I say, one of these days we'll come with some good firework news. One of these days we'll have some happy stuff. So,
We need some good news.
some happy
Mercy's
fireworks.
sakes. Yeah.
But yeah, I happened to see when I was looking for Pyro News, I seen all the Bonfire Night stuff, and yeah, I would sway. It was kind of, you brought it up at the same time, like, oh, we just talked about that before as well, because it was in the news. So.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, I love the fact that we've been able to do this on November the 5th. I think that's really good. Yeah.
Well, really appreciate you coming on, Nick, and hanging out with us when you could be, outside blowing stuff up.
No, I've loved being here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get to see each other again soon.
That'd be really good. If you enter for PyroJam again and come to the States, hopefully, man, it'd be awesome. Maybe I'll try and get over to the UK or something.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah. But
So do you have another show you got planned coming up for this weekend or anything like that?
Yeah, we've got one on Saturday as well, which should be really good. A little bit smaller than Battersea Park, but any show I love getting out on, no matter what size it is. So,
So
really cool.
if you're in the UK, go out and see the fireworks show this weekend. You'll see Nick there.
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Do you guys do all that electric or electronically, or you
Yeah,
guys hand fire it all?
Occasionally there's hand fire shows, but the vast majority of it is electric. In our case, Fire One is what we use. Yeah.
Okay.
Solid, secure. Yeah. Hasn't let us down yet, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. So. All right. Well, I think that'll do it.
Yeah, episode 14 in the books. Nick, again, thanks Nick for coming on. We adjust our schedule for recording, so we make sure you weren't up late, and appreciate you taking the time to come on here and join us and hang out. And it's awesome to get to meet you and be our first international guest. So
we really appreciate it, Nick. Thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us tonight. And
no, not at all. Thank you guys. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. If you haven't, go ahead and check out our website at pyrounleashedpodcast.com. Yeah, I'm not really
merch
sure
store
how to
out there.
invest. Yeah, there's a merch store on there. I haven't really done too much on the
some merch
website.
in the mail to Nick.
Yeah,
please. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, we have to get some on. Yeah, on
get
the
some
road
out
for
there.
him.
And again, guys, you can check us out on Discord and continue the chatter over there and hang out with us and all that kind of stuff. But again, we will see you guys again here in another week for episode 15. And in the meantime, go out there and unleash your inner pyro.
This has been another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Come back each week for more industry insights, technical tips, and awesome pyro designs. Have fun out there, be safe, and as always, remember to unleash your inner pyro with us.